Well, do something you know.
Well, that remains to be seen. Okay. Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah, here we go. This goes back to some more of my musical beginnings. I was a total Beatles freak, and every Christmas, all I cared about getting was the new Beatle album, and of course they released a new album every year just for me. It's great. I just gotten Rubber Soul, and I was listening to it in the living room. Now we lived next door to this family, before this family, and Frank was an imposing guy. He was a big fella, jet black hair, horn-rimmed glasses, and he would just kind of growl at you if you spoke to him. He was not a real sociable guy. So we lived there about 8 years next door to this family. I'd never had a conversation with this man. I'm listening to Rubber Soul. Went to turn the record over at one point, and I heard someone calling for help outside the window. So I went out there in the snow and looked over the retaining wall, and there was Frank laying there. He'd fallen off his roof. He'd been up there working on inspecting his roof to repair it as a Christmas present to his wife. And he slipped and he hit the retaining wall and fell down into the rocks below that. And so this man who'd I'd been terrified of for 8 years was reduced to being basically a child. We got a blanket, covered him up, tried to keep him from getting too shocky, and until the ambulance got there, and he never made it to the hospital. So I always felt guilty, this man had been laying out there for who knows how long, and listening to a 13-year-old boy, singing along with the Beatle record over and over and over again, a kind of level of hell, perhaps, I don't know. But anyways, this goes out to Frank and John, Paul, George, Ringo, and of course my dear parents and my sister, called in my living room. The Beatles came to Kansas City, played the A Stadium for poor lads from rainy England. I was too young to go and see. I said John's part, Paul's part, George's tune, Ringo drummed the song. The Beatles played in my living room. Neighbor Frank with 13 children, 6 Hail Marys, 7 Joes. Outside my window I couldn't hear him praying in his bed of snow. I said John's part, Paul's part, George's cheek, Ringo drummed the song. The Beatles played in my living room. Kansas City, my father brought them home to tea. They hugged my mom and kissed my sister, stayed up late and jammed with me. I sang John's part, Paul's part, Ringo's tune, George strummed the sad guitar. The Beatles played in my living room. John's part, Paul's part, George's tune, Ringo drummed the song. The Beatles child's play in my living room. Thank you, thank you.